Hi, my name is Jeff Zappelli, and welcome to the Walt Hall and Baca Wines Happy Hour, where the show where great minds drink alike. It's amazing to be here today. We actually just wrapped up our Pinot Noir harvest just this morning. One of the longest harvest periods we've had in a long time, but as all things 2020, 2021, you just have to be ready and be ready and flexible, and always be looking for the very best that you can find. And I think our 2021 harvest is going to be amazing. And I can't wait to actually be able to talk to the winemakers who don't talk to anybody during harvest. And that's for good reason. We're making some terrific wine. So I hope that you will come visit us. We have a lot of things to talk about. We can show you a lot of fabulous wines. But today we're going to talk about one of the biggest entertainers in television entertainers and correspondents and photojournalists in the country. My guest today is Raúl de Molina. He's an Emmy-winning host of the #1 daytime talk show on Univision, El Gordo y la Flaca. He's a Cuban immigrant, a photojournalist, which incredible stories about the 1980s in Miami. He's a father, he's a collector of fine art, and he's also an advocate for the art community. He's also a fan of wine and fast cars, but not at the same time. Please help me welcome Raúl de Molina. Raúl?
Hello, Jeff. It's a pleasure being here, and thank you for the introduction. By the way, when you say the biggest guy on entertainment, look at my size. That's what you're saying, that right?
No. I'm talking at ratings.
El Gordo y la Flaca. That means the fat guy and the skinny lady. That's the title of the show.
Well, I say that about my home here too, but you can own it. I think you've got the trademark for it. Well, thanks so much. Cheers to you.
Cheers.
Thank you for being here today. I know it's later in the afternoon. I think you're in Miami, if I'm right.
Right here from my house in Miami in Key Biscayne.
Oh, that's terrific. I love that area, and it's
I just finished doing my TV show. It's from 4 to 5 p.m.
Okay.
Came back home, and we're here. And, I think Miami is a great city. It's a city. I've been living here since I was 16 years old. I'm originally from Cuba, grew up in Madrid, and then came to the United States. And I'm now 62 years old.
I don't think you're 62, but you can go ahead and say that. So I did not catch in your bio the portion about Madrid. So you lived in Spain for a little while.
Yeah, I grew up in Madrid when I was 10 years old. I left Cuba with my grandfather, my grandmother, and my mother. And I grew up there from 10 to almost 16 years old.
Oh, wow. So I got to say, so American wine or Spanish wine? Because I know there's not a lot of Cuban wine that's made. So which do you enjoy better?
And Spanish wines are also very good.
They are just different, right? Different grapes, different varietals. I'm a big Rioja fan, so that's why I was asking. I don't know if you like a lot of drink the Rioja, but I was going to ask you about the pre-show we were talking a little bit about our families, and I know the Latin and especially the Cuban culture in Miami is so big. How does wine play into that? Like, is that a part of most celebrations? Is it more rum? Is it, how does where do we fit in?
I really don't know. Wine now is with every culture, not just Cuban. I'm going to tell you, as a Cuban, and Cubans were the largest people, I would say, in Miami. There was at one time the majority of the people were from Cuba. Now there is a mix from everywhere, from Brazil, from Argentina, from Central America, from Mexico. Miami is a city that everyone that have a problem in their country, they come and they live in Miami. So Miami is not like the rest of the United States. No. I will always say it's like the Casablanca of the Americas. So talking about Cuban culture, I don't see people drink wine with roast pork and fried plantains. A lot of them will drink beer back then, but now everyone drinks wine and everyone loves wine.
That's great. No, I bring it in, right? Like that, the more wine that gets drank.
And then you go to restaurants, and 20 years ago, people didn't, unless you went to like a really good restaurant, you didn't order a bottle of wine. Now everyone brings their wine or drinks their wine or order from at restaurants. So they sell more wine now than ever. And I think one of the biggest ones Yeah, it's
I
the
was going to
United
say
States.
I was in the Cuban part of Newark in New Jersey, and I was actually going around with a salesperson there, and that's what he was saying, is that the shift towards wine, especially in the Latin community, it's obviously helping him because he sells wine, but he was just remarking that not only is it wine, but it's like better wines, that they're starting to really pay attention to some of the more fine wines that are out there.
And also, Miami is almost the biggest, or the most important, I've seen, wine and food festivals in the United States, which is the South Beach Food and Wine Festival. And
Yes.
also Southern Wine and Spirits are, I've seen, the largest importer of wine, which is based right here in Miami.
Yes, it is. Mel, he did that well a couple of years ago. That's not our distributor so shout out to Republic National, but no, Southern Wine and Spirits is a huge proponent of wine and has been a great part of our industry for a long time. So I was going to ask you, how did you get into wine? Because I know that wine for you.
Oh my God. You really want to know this story? About 20 something years ago, I would go to a restaurant and I would ask for iced tea or lemonade.
Okay.
Yes. So I have a friend of mine who's a photographer who lives in Malibu. And we will go out, and when I go to LA, we will go to dinner, and he will bring a bottle of wine. Says, "Hey, Raul, and bring in this bottle of wine. This bottle of wine is $75." And I, back 25 years ago, 26 years ago, I didn't care. I say, "Oh, Phil, yeah, great. I know you like wine and all that, but I prefer to have an iced tea or a lemonade." So all changed in one of my birthdays that we went to San Francisco.
Okay.
And he came with his wife. I was there with my wife. And in the Pyramid Building, there was a beautiful restaurant that is not there anymore in the first floor. And he brought with him his wife and Cecilia Chan, which is the woman that introduced Chinese gourmet food to the United States.
Okay.
And I was born in 1959. Every wine that he brought for that dinner was a Bordeaux from 1959. He brought Margaux and Pichon Lalande. And he brought a series of other wines. And we started drinking wine. And 3 days later, we went to the French Laundry in Napa, right where you are, around where you are.
Yeah.
And we had dinner there. And we didn't bring the wine there, but we had some more wine there. And then I started liking wine. When I got back to Miami, I called him and say, Phil Remy, my friend, who used to be an extremely famous paparazzi that did very well. And I say, look, why don't you get me some bottles of wine? I says, look, I'm gonna go to an auction of wines, and that's when I was introduced to Wally's in Los Angeles and all these places. And the first wine that he sent me was a case that he bought at an auction. Was 1989 Pichon Lalande.
Nice. I was just at Wally's actually last week.
He introduced me to Christian Navarro when he was still working at Wally's. He didn't own Wally's then. Like Wally's, what it is now in Beverly Hills and all that. And,
yes, it is.
I start liking wines and I start, buying wines.
And now it looks like, just from your Instagram, so now you've visited South Africa, the wine region in South Africa. You've been to Napa recently. What is your favorite region? What regions are you drinking wine from more now?
They're all different. Napa, it's amazing. We've been to Napa 3 or 4 times. We went to the wine region in South Africa. We also went to the Barroso County in Australia. One of my favorite places is in Rioja, and especially the Frank Gehry Hotel Marquesa Riscal, which I've stayed there twice. I stayed there for the opening, and then later on we were there about 8 years ago, which they make a great wine called Baron de Chirel. And my wife loves wine. The difference is she went to New Orleans. She went to Tulane and Loyola. So, she was there living in New Orleans for 7 years. So they don't stop drinking there. Doesn't matter what it is, as long as it has
doesn't
alcohol.
matter.
So I open a bottle of wine and it's gone in 5 minutes.
Well, I hope we sent you a couple bottles then for today's tasting, so that she can enjoy and you can enjoy. I know that in my house, sometimes we have to open 2 at the same time, just to make sure, right? And I apologize, by the way, the sun is setting on the West Coast right now. And so you're getting a big blast of, you look beautiful. Well, I did. So I was seeding that question with you because I wanted to talk about this wine that we chose for our tasting today. This is our 2000, sorry, excuse me. No, that's not the wine. This is the 2019 Brisa Pinot Noir. So this is the yellow label. Thank you. Yeah, I apologize for that. So this wine is Brisa is named after the area that actually it's really close to where I live. You get a lot of wind and fog influence that connects the Bodega Bay with the north part of the San Pablo Bay, the San Francisco Bay. And so it's the breeze that comes in every day, twice a day, that keeps the berries really small. And it also creates what's called chicks and hens, which is small berries and big berries on the same cluster. And it's that acidity that you find in the large berries and the concentration that you get in the little berries that gives the wine its really beautiful consistency. It gives it a lot of balance and flavor and also a lot of finesse. And we named it La Brisa because it is the wind that really is the number one climate.
It's very dark for a Pinot Noir. Mm-hmm. Incredible. I really like it. I think it's very good. And you know what? I prefer Pinot Noir to Cabernet because Cabernet, of course, is a lot stronger. Yes. And I love the Pinot Noir. And I've been drinking lately a lot more Pinot Noir than any other wine.
Yeah, I mean, I love any great bottle of wine that you put in my glass. But for me, Pinot Noir it's so approachable. And it also goes with so many different types of food. Like I could get down on, everything from a Cuban sandwich all the way up to, I'm trying to think of something that's in your wheelhouse for Cuba. But what I love about Cuban food specifically is that it's not a hot spice. It's a really elegant spice. And there's so many different wines that you can pair with Cuban foods. That's
Cuban food, in the contrary, Cuban food is not like Mexican food or other food that is spicy. Cuban food is not spicy at all. And when you talk about a Cuban sandwich, I mean, everyone that comes to Miami have a Cuban sandwich, but then we for Christmas or for the holidays, we eat like a roast pork, white rice, black beans, sweet plantains fried, the green plantains and all this kind of thing, yuca, cassava, with the mojito sauce. So that's the typical Cuban food. And then they have the Cuban pastelitos, the guayaba, which is a guayaba pastry that you have in Miami. Like there is a place called Versailles. There is another place in Los Angeles called Porto that they make all this Cuban food that is amazing.
Yeah, no, I when I get down to Little Havana, when I'm in Miami, moving around selling wine or just visiting my family down there, I love going to get true, authentic. I mean, I haven't been to Cuba. I'm hoping to go to Cuba someday, but that's as close as I can get. The food is just amazing. So you also have on your Instagram, it's like the most delicious Instagram known to man. Like it's the quote that it makes me jealous and hungry at the same time, because you're off in these faraway places and you're also just enjoying amazing meals. So we actually wanted to bring up your Instagram and just ask you some things about where you are and what you're enjoying and what was going on.
Sure.
And so we'll start with a wheelhouse because
that's in Las Vegas. We went to see Jennifer Lopez. I mean, she's huge in the Spanish market, same as she's in the American market, but she's someone that really right now, and she's probably the top star right now. Yes. Especially with everything that's going on with Ben Affleck and all that. And that's in Las Vegas. We went to see her show in Las Vegas. It was amazing. We were there, and it's my wife, my daughter Mia, that goes to American University in Washington, that is 21 years old, with Jennifer Lopez. And it was nice enough that she came after the show. She came and took a picture with us. And I mean, we talk about her on our show like almost on a daily basis.
Yeah, well, and Bennifer is back. I would love to get your take on Ben and Jen, and since this is your expertise, do you think it's going to work out this time?
I think so. Look, I know Jennifer Lopez was her, not since she started in her career. She became famous because of Selena, when she did the Selena movie,
Mm-hmm.
more than 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I seen the best thing that happened to her. And this is, I have a show that is about gossip, entertainment, and all that every
Yeah.
single day. The best thing that happened to her is that she got back with Ben Affleck.
Okay.
17 years ago, when they used to be going out and they were getting ready to get married, my
Mm-hmm.
show is live from 4 to 5 p.m. A
Uh-huh.
couple of times I say, oh, it was like a Thursday or Friday. Today they're getting married. So they will make me wait until 8 p.m. because the shows are done for the East Coast times. And then if they
Yeah.
need to get it updated for the West Coast. So
Mm-hmm.
we will stay there in case she will get married. And we have reporters all over, Los Angeles. And
Uh-huh.
then on Saturday and Sunday, we were on standby because they were almost for sure that she was going to get married. You know
Uh-huh.
what?
Yeah.
I'm very happy for her that she's back with Ben Affleck, and I think Ben Affleck is a great guy.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it's fantastic. She was going out with Alex Rodriguez before that. I think was a little bit using her about becoming more famous than he was in Instagram because
Yeah.
Jennifer Lopez is the popular one. I mean, he's a huge baseball player, but not
Right.
about being in Instagram and being on the public eye every single day.
Yeah.
And I think she realized that, and she went back with Ben Affleck, and I wish her all the best to both of them.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I loved them before, and then I got lost a little bit with the. I'm also, a Giants fan, so San Francisco Giants. I can't follow the Yankees, so it's just a thing.
And I believe a little bit of gossip about this, since they were saying that Alex Rodriguez was trying to talk to some other woman that was on a TV show while she was going, having a relation with Jennifer Lopez. I
Mm-hmm.
think at that time she realized what was going on, called Ben Affleck, and this was back in February of last year, and that's when Ben Affleck broke up with, his girlfriend of so many years, the Cuban girl,
Mm-hmm.
the
Yep.
Armas, and at that point they decided to start the relationship. Jennifer Lopez stayed with Alex Rodriguez for a few more months, and then
Yep.
they finally got together again.
Yeah. No, I think that's great. I think that was a Southern Charm person or something like that. It was a reality thing. I'm not. I'm not in the world of reality. I'm in the world of real, I guess. So, well, cheers to that. So we have another photo for you. Now this one, I love Shakira. I think she's just one of the most, one of the best entertainers, period, whether, Latin or American. So, what's going on here? What are you praying
That was
for?
at the world. That was at the World Cup in South Africa,
Yes.
and in 2010. And
Okay.
Shakira was the one that was performing in the opening ceremonies.
Yes, you did.
And she was having a song, and we were dancing that in the stage that we were doing El Gordo y la Placa live from South Africa during the World Cup, because back then Univision televised all the
World
different
Cup.
games during the World Cup. Shakira was there. I know Shakira since she started. The
Mm-hmm.
first time that Shakira came to Miami with her father, that
Mm-hmm.
no one knew her in the United States. I interviewed her that day. And
Uh-huh.
I was back at Telemundo. Now I've been at Univision for over 25 years.
Uh-huh.
That was at South Africa, and we were, it was called the dance that we were doing with Shakira at the World Cup. The Waka Waka, Waka Waka, like that. We were dancing that over there.
So you Waka Waka?
And that was in Johannesburg.
Well, again, another amazing place that you've been to, making me jealous and hungry at the same time. That's cool. I love Shakira. I think she's a beautiful woman for lots of different reasons. And this is the one I really wanted to ask you about. So you look like a winery owner right there. You're doing a good job. Where are we here?
I wish. I don't know where this is exactly at. It might be Penfolds in South Africa. It
Okay.
might be. I'm not 100% sure. For the Red Sea, it might be Penfolds. We've been to different wine countries.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to different cities and all that. I believe this is a Penfolds, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. Well, we'll go with that. It's at Penfolds. And then you met Sofia Legara. She just stopped by to say hello to you while you were in tuxedo?
Yeah, which Sofia Vergara, I know her since she started at Univision. She had one of the most popular shows at Univision, which was a travel comedy show. And this is during the red carpet that I host, that is coming up now in the month of November in Las Vegas, the Latin Grammy. And that
Oh,
was
okay.
me trying to make that and kissing the most beautiful woman in the world. And one of the top celebrities right now after working very hard to get to there
Yeah.
in Hollywood.
Yeah, no, Sophia's terrific. I loved Modern Family. Obviously, that was a big hit show a couple years ago, but she's still doing great stuff. No, what's it like? What is it like a party invite look for you? I mean, Sofia Vergara, Shakira, Jennifer Lopez, like is this what Art Basel, the unofficial post party of what Art
And then
Basel looks like?
and then I come back and go back to my wife. No. No. It's it's my job, and I understand, and I've been doing it for almost 30 years.
Yeah.
And it's like you say, it's all these big events, and then you
Uh-huh.
have to be realistic. So that's what you do, and I think I'm very good at that, and I'm surrounded by all these beautiful women and all these big events. When you're
Yeah.
talking about Art Basel is a big event in Miami that is coming up now in December.
Yeah.
Since the first year of Art Basel, I have in my house, I have a party for like the people that collect art that come from all over the world. And we have
Hmm.
here about 200-300 people coming to my house. Believe it or
Yeah.
not, we take the furniture out the day before, and we get into this apartment in Key Biscayne that is about
Hmm.
3,250 square feet. We get about
Hmm.
250 people inside. A lot of them
Okay.
in the balcony. They come to see the art and all that. And I've been doing that for 18 years. We didn't do it last year because of the pandemia. And
Yeah.
I'm not sure that I want to have 200 people in my house this year, even if they're vaccinated. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, well, that's the tough thing for us at the winery is how we're going to host events, and we've started to do them again,
Yes.
which is terrific. And we just how are you going to keep people safe is really the question, right? That we're trying to constantly answer. I, by the way, love Pandemia. I'm going to use that. It sounds a lot more realistic to what we went through than pandemic. Like Pandemia. I'm just going to use that. Is that okay?
And look, these have changed the life of everyone. And
Mm-hmm.
I will do my show 1 week from Los Angeles,
Yeah.
probably every 2 months. I will travel to New York, to Dallas,
Mm-hmm.
to Chicago, to different places. And last year, unless I went on vacation
Mm-hmm.
somewhere, I wouldn't go anywhere for the show. I would do the show uh, March, at the end of March, in April and May. I did a show live from my house, and Lilia
Mm-hmm.
Stefan, the co-host, did it from her house. Then
Mm-hmm.
we start going back to the studio, alternating. One day she will go, the next day I will go, and that was in July, August, and September, October, November,
Yeah.
December, and then we all start going again to the studio. We're both vaccinated now. I already
Mm-hmm.
got my third shot of the vaccine, and it's a different situation now. I was a little
Yeah.
bit worried when I start traveling, and I believe one of my first trips during the pandemia,
Mm-hmm.
after we went very close, we went to a place called Casa de Campo in the Dominican Republic. That is a beautiful resort
Yes.
with private houses. But we were deciding, are we going to go somewhere? How far are we going to go? No, we're going to go to Napa Valley. And we were there to Napa right when they opened. And we were there at the end of March.
Yes.
We went to Napa. We spent about a week in Napa. Then we went to Big Sur, to Carmel and all
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah.
And then we came back and we stayed about 5 days in San Francisco. And I've been to San Francisco a bunch of times, and it was completely different. You could drive everywhere. You
Yeah.
could go to a restaurant. The streets were empty,
Yeah.
and people had left the big cities, and they were somewhere. Now they were in different places, and it didn't feel like it was before. And this
Yeah.
is, I think, have affected everyone in the world.
Yeah. No, it's changed. I think a lot of just a lot of people had a moment in time to rethink something and decide they might want something else. And I think and the back end of it will be better for it. I know right now we're definitely grateful that this year is different than last year for the winemaking, for our guests, for everything. We think we're going in the right direction, and that's super special. I did want to get into some questions about. So you're like a hero on Univision. You're the number one show. You've won 3 Emmys, but you actually started as a photojournalist. We were talking about some stories about doing. What do you think? Like, what was the top story that you got to report on? And you were in the 80s. in Miami. So there was a lot of great stories going on there. What was your favorite
You know,
story?
when I graduated from college from the Art Institute of Fort Lauderdale, I started freelancing for the Associated Press here in Miami, and it was a very difficult time in Miami in the 1980s. There was a lot of shootings with drug dealers and all that. There was a lot of racial problems. There were 3 different riots in Miami, and I covered all that. Back then, I have a bulletproof vest and a helmet. There were,
Wow.
you know, my people that have a beeper. My beeper will start beeping at 2, 3 a.m. and I will call the desk at the Associated Press and says, Raul, there is a shooting in this part of town, and I will put my bulletproof vest and head over there. And you know, I mean, Miami was in the news all the time. Miami was in Time, in Newsweek, and U.S. News and World Report, and also the Miami Dolphins were very good, different than what is now.
I think they won like every game. I think, like, you know.
Exactly. That was the times of Don Chula that I will cover all the Miami Dolphins games. Dan Marino's the quarterback. The University of Miami, different than what is now. It was the top team in the United States.
Yes,
was the quarterback Bernie Testaverde at the Orange Bowl. I covered that also almost every week. I was when I didn't photograph the Dolphins, I will photograph the University of Miami, and then I will cover all the problems that were in the city.
Yeah. No, Miami was hot. Well, they did run into a little team called the San Francisco 49ers one time, but I won't bring that up too much. I know Miami's Dolphins fans the Fish fans are crazy. You guys are nuts. So that's really terrific.
Everyone in Miami wants to go back on the Dolphin side to 1980s and to back Brisa even earlier than that.
Well, for a long time, the 49ers fans were trying to bring Joe Montana back. So we're trying. I think we're almost past that now. We're getting there at least. Well, the last question I want to ask you, really, and thank you so much for your time, and cheers to you and your wife and everybody. You've interviewed some of the biggest stars ever, and my question, I guess, to you is, what's your secret? How do you? I'm now learning to be someone like you, someone to to talk to people on the internet. What are your tips for me to be successful? Because you've clearly been successful and you know everybody.
Yeah, but you don't have to ask controversial questions that I do, like I ask in my show, because it's about entertaining. But I think the key is just to be, what it have worked for me, and many people get mad in my show because they say I ask them questions that I'm not supposed to ask. For example, today, there is a very famous singer right now, a popular singer named Camilo from Colombia. And he's married to the daughter of a very famous singer from Venezuela called, Montaner is the father of the girl. So today, in the morning, I got a great story. They say, she's pregnant. He's going to be a father, and no one knows this. I want you to say it on the show. So me, as a nice guy, called the manager of her, and I tell her, the manager of Camilo, and he doesn't come up the phone. An assistant comes in and says, hey, he's in a Zoom meeting right now. Look, I need to ask him because I'm going to go on the show with the news that he's going to be a father. She's pregnant, and I want to give you the courtesy that I'm calling you because I know you guys. Yeah. So the call never came back. My show goes live at 4 o'clock. At 3 o'clock, they released it in Instagram that she was pregnant, and they screw me.
Yeah, they ruined your lead.
So you know what? That's the bad thing. You are a nice guy. You call them to tell them, and they put it on Instagram an hour later, so you don't get the exclusive. So I know now for next time.
Yes. Okay. So the moral of the story is, if you have to ask the hard question, make sure that you save it for the interview.
Exactly. But I think the key to all this is you try to interview the people. You have to try to ask the hard questions on a nice way. And you try 1-2 times. If they don't answer the second time and they want to talk about it, you really cannot keep insisting all the time because you're not going to answer. So if you don't get it the first time you answer the question, or the second time that you go back to the questions, and just go on to the next scene.
Yeah. Well, I'll give you my only secret that I have for you. Just drink great wine, and everyone, you'll have great people like Raul.
Everyone will be happy if you give them a bottle of wine before the interview.
Exactly. Well, if you do that, you'll have great people like Raúl de Molina come on our little show here for Hall, Walt, and Baca Wines. Hey, thank you so much. I would love to say hello. If you make it back to Napa, or if your daughter or anybody comes, please, we would love to have you be our guest. And,
I would love to, and I show you one of the bottles that I have here for one of the, Kathleen Hall, the great wine that I have here in my house in my cellar. I have a case of this, and I have opened a couple of bottles. But I'm going to tell you, this Pinot Noir is really good.
Well, thank you.
Okay, yeah. It's really good.
You can buy 4 Brisas for the cost of a Catherine. I'll just throw that in there. I'm just kidding. Catherine's a beautiful wine. It's actually the reason I was working at Morton's Steakhouse in San Francisco, and Catherine came in with our sales manager at the time, and I was like, "This wine is incredible. I want to put it on the list. I've got 4 or 5 VIPs that I want to turn on to this wine," and then a job came open, and I've been working for them for the last 16 years. So,
and the nice thing that you are in Napa, and there's so many Hispanics, especially Mexican people working there in the fields and working as winemakers also.
Hardworking people.
So the last time it was something really good that touched my heart. I come back to the hotel one day and I see a case of wines, and I go, "Oh my God, who sent me this?" And it was a winemaker from Napa that is Mexican. And he found out through his wife that I was staying at the hotel, and he sent me a case of wine. And I went to visit him in the place that he worked and all that, and really amazing. And all these Latin people that work there. And really, my hat goes off to them and to everyone there, because it's one of the most beautiful places for wine in the world.
It is. Thank you. Well, we will await your return, and we hope to see you soon. Raúl de Molina, thank you for sharing your day.
Thank you. Cheers. Cheers. Salud. Salud.
Salud. Enjoy the La Brisa Pinot Noir, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us today on the Walt, Hall, and Baca Wines Happy Hour. We look forward to seeing you in the next 2 weeks. Every Wednesday, 4 o'clock Pacific, we'll have a great guest for you. Be sure to follow us on at Walt Wines, at Hall Wines, at Baca Wines. It was a pleasure today to host Raúl de Molina, and we cheers to you. Cheers to you. Be good and drink up. Cheers.